Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome. It is GM prep time for episode 6 of Eat the Rich. So we have just finished episode 5. This is going to be prepping for 6 and forward. And we're going to be basically just picking up where we left off on the old GM prep stuff, the last stream that we did. I've got several encounters to flesh out and just some like additional stuff to think about in terms of what I want to do for this next set. So where we're at with the characters is that they have left the city of Pylos by way of a secret exit in the home of one Coffin Huberto, a not very well off dude who lives in a rotting house and who somehow survived the plague. I think he might be a chosen of Nurgle. And honestly, I set up, and anybody who watched the last episode, you might have noticed me do this. I'm setting up little future fronts. So if the show does get a second season, there are so far 3 little hints that I've kind of placed into the story where we have the plague house, right? We have the hint that there are refugees that live under the city, and then also we have the human reinterpretation of the ogre religion, right? Second wave ogre stuff. So yeah, if we do end up needing a second season of the show, I've got some hints that I've kind of like put out there. And if they never end up amounting to anything, that's all right. That's totally okay. I'm all right with that. So for now, as always, the focus of my prep is, what do I need for the next episode? If I feel like designing more, great. If not, no problem. So let's take a look at what we got. So right now, I didn't get a chance to deliver this. So I think maybe someone will liaise with them when they get to Crossroads. But right now, the secret side mission for Mr. Belvedere, there wasn't really an opportunity. It was all fire and violence and then dragging this guy out and then torture. And, it was a whole thing. So we'll have to find an opportunity to put that in there. Now, as always, these are the characters' alignments. This is where we're at. We got 2 acts with an intermission. We have now we are on episode number 6 of the remaining 11 episodes, right? 6. Yeah. 6 of the remaining episodes. And now I basically want to set up Crossroads, because I think if I had to guess, let's take a look at the map. If I had to guess, what I think we're going to end up seeing is, so the characters are here right now, right? In the Smile family compound. And they're going to be moving down the Via Victoria to St. Alvar's Bridge to Crossroads. And from Crossroads, they'll be able to go to either the Hawk's Nest or they'll fall for the False Nest, depending on how many more episodes we have to go. Now, I know a lot of people were excited about the farmland, right? They found some witch stone, that whole thing, the cursed dumpling or whatever, all that we got into. We probably won't see that now, unless for some reason the characters have to run off into farmland to save themselves. But I think for right now, probably that's going to go in my pocket and I'll get to pick it up and put it in another, maybe a season 2 type of thing. Yeah, right. So it might happen. It might not. It's cool, but like we'll get to use it in a future. Yeah, in a future thing. For right now, though, I think Act 1 will likely be getting out of the Smile family compound. Act 2 will be the journey along the Via Victoria to end up in Crossroads. So what I need to do today is figure out old business, right? So what old business do we have? I'm going to go ahead and copy this over. All right. So we've got this side mission. I think now we put this in Crossroads, right? We'll move it. And I'm going to change this. Dorothea Purse Strings. Let's change this to someone else, right? So this is going to be an agent of the Illuminated Masters living in Crossroads. comes to Mr. Belvedere, gives him a secret side mission to find out what happened to all the gold and report back directly. So what I guess we need is the agent, right? And then I'll figure out the rest of the stuff and my goals for the session. So for this session, I think what I need, and let's bring this back to normal Verdana, which is the font we've been using. There we go. Okay, so my goals for this next session are going to be guide the characters out of the compound and back onto the road, right? So let them play out the compound as long as they feel like being here. And so don't goad them, but whenever they're ready, guide the characters out of the compound and back onto the road. And then engage the travel rules, because if you remember, let's take a look at my notes for episode 5. Also, did I make this a character? Oh my God, I totally accidentally made this a character. My GM prep is a character. That's fine. So we want to get them out of there and onto this bit, right? 6 days of travel, 3 toughness tests, on the old road with a threat level of 1d6, right? This is the thing I want to get to. Chances are pretty good this will be quite quick. You know, maybe they'll fail the toughness tests. Maybe, you know, if we roll a d6, maybe we're going to get a threat, but probably not. And then I want to get them to Crossroads. So this is sort of going to be the travel episode. Now, theoretically, we could end up rolling on the random table. So I guess maybe I should put that into, yeah, let's copy that into Roll20 just in case it comes up, because I think it might be fun. I find random encounter tables kind of fun. I think they're a good challenge, and I sort of like not knowing what's going to happen, but being given an option, right? Being given some info. So let's grab that. Let's grab that with the snipping tool here, and I'll make a new handout. Okay. So let's save that. The random encounter table for the House of the Falcon. Yeah, that was the one that had like a 1 in 100 chance or a 1 in 20 chance or something of encountering a vampire, and they got it. That's right. Because wasn't that encounter the thing that got the Empire going? Wasn't that a random roll? And they just randomly encountered the hardest monster in the whole dungeon? Yeah. Okay, so let's add that in to Roll20 here. It's actually really fun. So it's cool being able to do this GM prep with you kind of out in the open, because with a game that doesn't have a compendium support, this is what it ends up looking like. Like my Genesis setup is just like this. It's just tables and tables of screenshots being made into their own handout, because I find I need to reference stuff. And the big strength about Roll20, it's not, to me, it's not the maps. It's not dynamic lighting. It's not tokens. It's none of that stuff. It's the ability to have a virtual remix of whatever books you're using. So you essentially take an entire library of supplements and you hack out the pages that you need and you make them into handouts so that I can have, and D&D has taught me this, right? Doing the pre-gen adventures. So this way I can have combat actions, injuries, slain tables, and I can have all these available, and then I just double click them. It's like having a really, really good GM screen. You know? That's what I love about it. Yeah. So for me, this is what Burning Wheel looked like this too, right? Burning Wheel had like different backgrounds and like different screens I used for different shit. Very little of it was actually maps. But yeah, I think for now all I got to do is add a new handout. So I'm going to go in here and we're going to add Old Road Wilderness Encounters. Okay. Just put this in my own. There we go. And we're going to drop that file in there. And I guess if I want to be consistent about this, what I need to do is I need to now make a new folder inside the handouts folder called random encounters. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now can I move this? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Boom. All right. Organization. So there's a 1 in 6 chance in the next episode. Have you ever thought about using photographs in place of maps? Yeah, no, I haven't. Wow, that's an interesting thought. I've been at this for more than 5 years, 5.5 years doing online GMing stuff. And I don't think I've ever run a modern, like a contemporary game. I should do a game set in modern Vancouver and physically go out and take photos of the places that the game is set. That'd be super fun. My GM prep could just be a photo walk. Yeah. Huh. Take that, file it away in the old GM idea brain. Yeah, that'd be fun. Anyway, for now, thankfully, I cannot walk down this horrifying old road because it's not real, thank goodness. So yeah, they might encounter one of these things. But for now, I can just set this aside. Okay, just in case. So cool. All right. What else do we need to do? So engage the travel rules, get them to Crossroads, introduce Crossroads. Okay. So that means what I need to stat up here, and I can cut maybe like for later. But for now, a night in Crossroads and a situation at the bridge, right? 2 things that I can kind of pull up and put in front of them unless in case the characters end up kind of in this place. Can you create custom tables? Yeah, I did. Let me show you. I created a autumn weather table. So it's a rollable table in Roll20. And I have all of these results on the table, and then I can just roll that. That's how we figured out the weather from last time. And yeah, exactly. You can take existing tables and you can adapt them into these rollable tables, and then you can create macros that post results from the table if you want to. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's keep on prepping here. So I'm good with episode 5. I suppose I should let's take a look at what we had talked about for. Is there anything else I want to do in the Smile family compound, right? Do we want to do anything else? So right now, this is what I have for the Smile family. So we've got some characters. We've got that festival has taken over the roadway. Traffic is blocked. They have to deal with it. They've come in. They've seen the seminar. They got the corruption points. And I guess I just want to hint at this bit. So really, I can wing it for most of that. But let's make a new header in the compound. Just a couple of notes, like if there's anything that I don't want to forget. So someone in the crowd, someone in the cult here knows something about the hawk in hiding. Let's say Sister Karma. And might be inclined to offer help. Ooh, here we go. Help in exchange for getting them out of the cult. So if the characters admit who they are, then Sister Karma will come to them and say, I know something about your quarry. You should let me help you, but you got to get me out of here, right? They're watching me very closely. I'm afraid for my life, and I wanna get out of here. Can you help me? Yeah, I think that's how we do that. She has family in Crossroads, a husband and 2 children, but came to Philos to find a job, but got sucked into the Smile family. Okay. Here we go. So it's an opportunity for them to help somebody if they want to, but at a cost or a danger. Okay. Does the Smile family do anything? They want to keep them. What is the Smile family going to do to keep them here? Right? So after if they eat the food, they get drugged. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. If they eat the meal provided by the Smile family, everyone who does is drugged. Let's look at drugs. How do drugs work? Okay. So let's find the various narcotic substances in this game, and then let's see what kind of drugs we could do our players. Now, ideally, they're not gonna knock them out and then make them prisoners. They're gonna make them trip balls and then be like, yeah, you love that. We got more of that shit. Let's open your mind, right? Because they're not kidnapped. I mean, okay, they are kidnappers and abusive, and they're bad. They're bad guys. The Smile family's not good guys. But that angle in is the kind of hippie vibe. Yeah, that like, let's all get high and do drugs and learn about the universe together. Yeah. Okay, so where... This is all monsters. You know what? Let's just look in the index. I don't know if they're called drugs in this game, though. What are they called? There's like an old-timey word for it. I saw them. I was looking at the rules the other day, but now I can't remember where they are. Let's see. Deliriants, yeah, I think is maybe the word. They're called drugs, man. Just call them drugs. Here we go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Okay. Deliriants. Black Lotus, a powerful opiate, smoked or ingested, causing moderate hallucinations, opens the mind and psyche to visions. If taken in large enough doses, it can prove fatal. But all it really does mechanically is give you a bonus to willpower for 9 hours if you take a bunch of it. Okay, Mandrake Root increases your peril threshold. Redcap Mushrooms arouse frenzy. The imbiber becomes mad as a hatter. Yeah, see, none of those, like, I guess I could also say, like, they have their own special. Let's make up our own deliriant, shall we? Let's do that. So everyone who does is drugged. What should we call this? The smile. It's got to sound like a good time, kind of like, yeah. Some kind of drug whose purpose is that it opens your mind and you see visions and it causes you to have like fits of giggles. Yeah, like but it's not about being happy. Remember, it's not a happiness cult. It's a smiling cult. And it can't be ominous sounding on the surface. It's got to be like, Yeah, it's just something that just makes you laugh, like joylessly, right? Yeah, like it makes you giddy and lightheaded and opens you up to, like, makes you manipulative or manipulable. Yeah. It's pretty much just laughing. Yeah, laughing gas, but it also like softens you up for being manipulated. Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? We don't need to know the name of it, really, right? Like, okay. So the Smile family special serum is an ingestible fluid often added to food or drink. When it is imbibed, how does it work? It's like, take hold within an hour. For each dose taken, you take a corruption. Dulls your senses. Oh, here we go. So it's a deliriant. So it does all this already. When under the influence of one dose, all failed perception. Okay, I'm just going to copy this because this is useful. All right. The usual effects of a deliriant are present, as well as main gauche has some more drugs. That's okay. We'll make our own. Special serum is ingestible fluid added to food or drink. When it is imbibed, the usual effects of the deliriant are present, as well as an increased sense of well-being and community, and often is accompanied by fits of giggles and yeah, often accompanied by fits of giggles. Okay, yeah. So everybody just is like, we're friends, like, yeah. Okay. Okay, and then let's paste in the other. Why? No, this is not part of a list. There we go. There we go. Okay. So there's our drugs. They do the thing. So treat all perception skill tests that are fails as critical failures. Under the influence of 2 doses, same effects on all willpower. Under the influence of 3 doses, all brawn. So they want to is drugged with 2 doses of special serum. Okay, so that's two corruption. Okay, everyone present except Mother and Father Smile take the serum. So this is everybody. It's not just that the players are drugged. Okay, all right. What else? Oh, I have a music reference we can call this. The Smile Family Special Serum, aka Mother's Little Helper. There we go. So yeah, maybe this turns into a weird smorgy. That's what they call them when everybody just sits around and smiles at each other. So this is everybody comes in, you receive the blessing, everyone takes a couple of doses of Mother's Little Helper, and we spend the night singing and clapping and hugging and just feeling all kinds of fucked up. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, good. So what else might happen? In the compound, someone knows about the hawk and hiding. If they eat the meal provided, that's what happens. I think that might be it. I don't think I need to really, like, the players might decide to commit arson or murder or cause general mayhem. If they do, Mother and Father Smile retreat to their tent, guarded by their personal mercenaries. The rest of the dumb hippies, the rest of the Smile family, generally either flail around helplessly or fanatically defend their masters. Yeah, just in case they decide to. And we do have stat blocks for the tent guards. Yeah, the ones that will fight will just use the Smile Family cultist, right? Because they have some spells and they have the incantation spell ability and less talking, more smiling, and painful laughter. Yeah, so we got that. So this is our stat block in case they decide to get into a fight with the violent version of the hippies. Everyone else is just stab dead, right? They're just flesh obstacles. So I think that's all we need for the compound. We've already got characters. We've got all that we need. I think that's fine. And then there's encounters along the way, which is really stuff, encounters at Crossroads, right? So I suppose that's our next thing to detail. So Crossroads. So it is a I'm gonna treat it like an NPC, or kind of like what we do with Ironsworn. We're gonna give it 3 descriptors. So the town of Crossroads is dangerous. It is like full of opportunity. Basically, it's like frontiersy, right? It's like a melting pot, kind of like a crucible. Yeah, that's a good word for it. A social crucible. Dangerous and lawless. A social crucible. And it's little, right? It's like there are a few. It's not a lot of people. It has a sense of impermanence. In that nobody really like comes here to stay except for a few people who own businesses here. It's a bit like Deadwood, right? It's a border town between 2 different, a bit like a shanty town. That kind of thing. Kind of ramshackle. That's the word I was looking for. Ramshackle. Yeah. Dangerous and lawless, social crucible, ramshackle. Good. Okay. So, what do we need to know about Crossroads? Right? We had talked a little bit about this before. So let's kind of continue. Yeah. So Crossroads is a town surrounding the old stone bridge of Saint, what do we call it? Saint Albus? Saint Dumbledore? Saint Alver. All right, surrounding the bridge, stone bridge of Saint Alver. Mostly built to serve travelers. Only a few permanent structures. Some on the bridge itself. Right, so it's a medieval bridge. So, like, here, let me see if I can. No, not Minecraft. Get out of here. So, medieval bridge. Yeah, like this, right? This kind of vibe. So it's got buildings on either side. Dark Souls 3 undead settlement. Lots of poorly maintained woodwork. Absolutely. Yeah. Totally. Yeah, so it's like it's split on either side, but it's all kind of the one town. Let me take a look at this. Do I have? Yeah, for real. Here, let me put that over. So, yeah, that vibe. Totally. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, some on the bridge itself, all extremely run down and barely standing. Okay, cool. All right. It's a fairly common thing, right? These medieval bridge towns, like, because you build near water and then you build on the other side. Okay, so let's make a quick list of structures. Tavern name generator. The Fast Banjo. The Twin Elderberry. Ye Old Didgeridoo Tavern. The Tall Grape. The Salty Albatross. The Eagerhawk. Ooh, the Last Town Inn. That's kind of good. The French Scream. Sounds like a sex move. I think I'm going to go with the Last Town Inn. Okay, so the Inn of the Last Town. The only residents in Crossroads, or the only temporary residents in Crossroads. Way station house for travelers. Okay, way station house for travelers. Has a tap room in which weary folk can rest their feet and listen to tunes, listen to troubadours, scalds and the like, who might also be here looking for coin. Okay. So that's the end of the last town. Okay. Owned by a couple, one from the north and the other from the south. They're ancient figures in this town. Everyone knows them. Okay, cool. And then we have Skiv's provisions. Okay, and then Skiv and his wife run the general store of Crossroads, where you can buy traveling supplies and a few weapons. Has a back room for other less legal purchases. Deliriants, poisons, banned books, and the like. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Skiv's a pretty good name, right? Yeah. I thought so. Okay. It's like Shiv and Skeevy. Yeah. He's played by Skeet Ulrich. There's Skiv right there. Okay, cool. All right, so there's Skiv and his wife. And then I guess also I should I'll just set up a new area here, NPCs, right? And then there's probably the new church and the old shrine. So the new church is a church run by a wizened old nun. Rumors say she was a pagan princess in her youth, but was converted by the king of Esperine himself. Wizened old church run by a wizened old nun has a secret basement for hiding people on the run. Okay, so that's the thing that the new church has. But the old shrine has no one to tend it and serves no particular god, but an ancient stone idol sits here, worn into obscurity by 1,000 hands touching it for luck. Always a few coins in the basin of the old shrine. But who it serves? I guess who we're sacrificing to? Nobody really knows. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So it's just an old, yeah, kind of like the Blarney Stone, yeah. But it's like it's an old pagan shrine, and people, it might serve the demiurge. It might be an old shrine to a chaos god. We'll never really know. But people, for luck, people touch it and leave coins. And I guess if the players stop to say a prayer to anyone except the God Emperor and leave at least 1 silver shilling, they get an extra fortune point. They get an extra fortune point that will last until it's used. Yeah, right? Is it actually lucky? It is. Yeah. Yeah, what's the equivalent of Oh, what's his name? The Nuffle or Wuffle or whatever his name is. Renald is Warhammer. Yeah, he's the like fox god, right? It is Nuffle is the one that people pray to for. He's the RNGesus of Warhammer. I'm not sure what the equivalent here is, but it doesn't matter, right? It's again, I'm leaning into that superstition thing where people do a thing without realizing why because they're superstitious. Yeah, so there's an old shrine, there's the new church, there's Skiv's provisions, there's the inn of the last town, and then I think we should put here the shanty. It's not like the shanty town, the shanty field, the shanty fortune point for 1 silver. Should there be any downside? Corruption? Yeah, here we go. If roll, I guess here, like if a player does this, and it's for the whole group, right? So they can't each do it. It's just once. It can only be activated once. And the player who says the prayer takes 1d6 corruption in doing so. Yeah, there we go. Because they're blaspheming the gods, right? Because this is a pagan prayer not done properly. Yeah, I think we give corruption for it. And then yeah, and I think that's fine. They can only do it one time. It's like a special. This is some classic old D&D bullshit, right? Okay, so the shanty fens? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna base this on fucking Finn Slough. Have I showed you this? Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find a picture of this. So it's actually in BC. It's like a weird little, yeah, here we go. It's this cool little town of like basically squatters from the early 1900s, and it's in Vancouver. It's like a historic fishing village. Let me see if I can find an image of it. Yeah, I've been there and taken photos a bunch of times. This isn't one of mine, but yeah, here we go. Yeah, something like this, right? So there's like these failed people live in like boats that they've landlocked and turned into homes, and there's this kind of swampy area where people who live here live in a semi-permanent way. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, the word slough just makes you think of dead skin. Yep. Fair. Cool. Okay, so you know what? Let's call it that. The Shanty Slough. A neighborhood made up of exiles, criminals, and families of same who set up here. It's actually, the community in Finn Slough is actually really cool. They're like an independent community, and they have like their own like generators and stuff. There's a whole thing. You should look into it if you're curious. Finn Slough in Vancouver and Richmond. It's got a long history. It's really quite interesting. Who set up here generations ago, and who live in the margins between the two warring kingdoms. Yeah, okay. Former burglars, yeah, former thieves, former exiles, many strange and interesting folk can be found in this place, but outsiders are mistrusted and looked at askance. Askance? Is that how's that spelled? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay. The Shanty Slough. And then this makes up the 24 or so semi-permanent wooden structures that occupy the muddy banks of the, what do we call the River Sophia? Yeah. And then one more thing, because you gotta have it. Underbridge. So in the shadow of St. Alvar Bridge, what do we think? Like if you go under the bridge and you stay close to the edge, There's like an old like cave or something under the bridge.